Hello and welcome to the Hafey Digital Podcast, a show for creators, makers, and doers, where my goal is to help you make to the max. My name is Ryan Hafey. This is King Tum Tum. And in this episode, we're going to go over Wilder Fury 2, my ringside photography experience, and we're going to be talking about the Rodecaster Pro. Let's do it. How do you like that? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, I'm not going to keep King Tum Tum in the video for too long because he's a busy puppy. But yeah, we finally brought the puppy home today. He is back with us, and he's adapting really well. Loves his crate. He's eating. He's going to the bathroom, and he's only been here for how long? So we're having a great time with him, and the kids love him, and he's so far just a great puppy. I'm sure we've got a lot of work to do on him, but we couldn't be happier. So anyway, wanted to show him off first and foremost. By the way, as always, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you don't mind, follow me on social media at Ryan Hafey on Twitter and Instagram. I would appreciate it. Let's have some conversations. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about two things. My ringside photography experience with the big heavyweight world title rematch yesterday, Wilder Fury 2, and also wanted to give my first impressions of this guy here, which is the Rodecaster Pro by Rode. It's a podcast audio board, basically. And so let's start with the big topic, Wilder Fury 2. As I've talked about before, by the way, this was my credential from the apron there. Pretty cool piece of memorabilia there that I get to hang on to. So, yeah, last night was Wilder Fury 2. For those of you not familiar with boxing, it was one of the biggest heavyweight title fights in decades. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder 6'7", Tyson Fury 6'9". They fought back in December of 2018, and that fight was a split draw. At that point, both fighters were undefeated and were still undefeated, and it was a split draw. It was a super dramatic fight. Tyson Fury was outboxing Wilder through a majority of the first fight, but Deontay knocked him down in the ninth and spectacularly in the 12th round. And somehow Tyson managed to get up and kind of shock the world, and it ended in a split draw. So people wanted to see what was going to happen next. So, oh yeah, I wonder if my intro. I just realized that I'm still getting used to this Rodecaster Pro thing. So up here, I've got my desktop turned up. So I'm hoping. Oh no. Because on my thing here, I had it turned off. We're good. Sorry, backtracking. This is going to be one of those episodes where things are going to get interesting because with this new audio board, which I love, there's going to be some things that I'm not quite familiar with yet. So there may be some hiccups here and there, but that's all part of the process and all part of the fun. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, Wilder Fury. So ended in a split draw. That was back in December 2018, and they agreed to fight again last night. And this was a monumental fight for the sport of boxing for many reasons. Number one, you had Fox and Premier Boxing Champions working alongside Top Rank and ESPN, kind of two sides of the boxing world coming together to work as one. And it went very well. It was surprising how well the promotion went. It was great to see everyone getting along and working together smoothly, and I was honored to be a part of that. So one of my usual roles on fight nights, as I've explained in previous episodes, is ringside photography. For Wilder Fury, it was no different. So I had the amazing opportunity to not only be a part of this big event, but to be able to shoot at ringside. So I had some photos set aside because I'm sure you may be. Let's see, we'll pull up the screen here. Apologies to any of you out there who are listening to this. You're going to miss out on these images I'm about to show you, but you can see all of them on my Instagram page at Ryan Hafey. But anyway, the entrances for these guys were amazing. So Tyson Fury came out on a throne that was being carried by a group of people. So, smoke coming in behind him, and you can see everyone standing around with all their phones and everything. Crown on his head, big old cape and everything. They definitely did a great job, the fighters did, at making it a show. Just another shot of Tyson as he got closer to the ring, arms spread out wide, approaching. And then I wasn't able to get, because Deontay wasn't elevated on a platform of any kind coming out, so I wasn't able to get a super clean shot of his outfit. This is probably the best that I got. In fact, I got one shot that was dead on when he was in the ring, but for whatever reason, that one shot was corrupted. I was so upset about that, but whatever. It is what it is. It happens. But this was his outfit, and Deontay, he used to just wear a mask to the ring, and that was cool. But then he's, in the last maybe 3 or 4 fights, has really upped his game. And this one, he's got glowing red lights and skulls and jewels and things all over him. So, that's, if you know anything about Deontay Wilder, that's just kind of the person that he is. So he likes the theatrics, and he has a lot of fun with it. And then, so yeah, just kind of some of the fight photos here. I always like, when I'm shooting boxing, I always like to get a nice wide shot, something that just kind of shows the fighters squaring off. I try to frame it up to where they're kind of in the center of the ring, full body, top to bottom. I like to get at least a couple of those types of shots. And then, these shots are always fun where they're just in the clinch. You can see some sweat flying. Obviously, this is a point where they just kind of came in and engaged and collided. Oh, this is kind of backtracking a little bit, but this is when they were taking off the helmet off of Deontay's head right before he fought. You can see those bright, shining red eyes. Another shot of Tyson engaging with Deontay. And this is tough to see, but this is when I don't believe this was the first knockdown. It may have been... Actually, no, I don't think this was the first knockdown. But you can kind of see where my position was on the ring here. So I've actually known Deontay for a number of years, actually since 2014 now. And, boxing aside, boxing politics aside, he's just an overall really good dude. His motto is speak it, believe it, receive it. And he lives by that. He has this just sort of endless confidence that he's brought with him into the ring, which is why he's been so successful. I think, was it 42-0 with 41 knockouts prior to this fight. No losses prior to this fight. This is his first career loss. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, he's a great dude. So, boxing, boxing aside, he's just a great all around guy. So it was tough to watch him lose the fight, but that's boxing, and you can't take anything away from Tyson Fury. He came in well prepared and did a great job. But anyway, so back to the photos. So another shot here, nice and tight, right against the ropes there. More sweat flying. Deontay working his jab. Another close encounter. Another knockdown. Deontay on the ground, kind of Tyson looking over him, celebrating a little bit there. This one's a little soft, but I thought it was still worthy. Couple more shots there. This one you can kind of see how Deontay, if you look, he's got some blood here. He was actually, I guess it was a cut or something in his left ear that was bleeding. His left ear was basically leaking from the first or second round on. Felt bad for the guy, and his lips busted up there, but he fought on. And at the end of it, it was in the 7th round. I think Deontay went down again in the 5th. In the 7th round, he was still taking some punishment. He could never really find his legs, it seemed. His equilibrium was a little bit off, and by the 7th round, his corner threw in the towel. Some controversial discussion around that, whether or not that was the right call. But at the end of the day, it was about fighter safety. So it's probably a good thing that they threw in the towel, because Deontay you got to give him props, because he went for a number of rounds taking punishment, and and surviving against Tyson before his corner thought it was time to throw in the towel. So, but again, like I said, taking nothing away from Tyson, he landed a good shot that, kind of wobbled Deontay in the beginning of the fight, and Deontay just couldn't recover. So Tyson came in prepared, and as a result, he took away Deontay's WBC title. Deontay was the WBC heavyweight champion. Tyson was the lineal champion. So now he's the WBC lineal heavyweight champion. So good for him. Overall, like I said, it was a great night for boxing. It was a great night for boxing fans, and regardless of the outcome, I was very honored to be a part of it. There's another kind of celebratory shot as they announce the winner. You can kind of see all the emotion there. One more shot of the two colliding. So there you go. That was the fight. Let's see, where am I at here? No, wait. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Gotta turn that off. Perfect. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. It was an amazing night. The event itself was spectacular. All the teams involved did a really good job. And like I said, I was super happy that I had a chance to be involved with it and shoot that fight ringside. So anyway, so there's that. Moving on, I want to talk about my new toy here, which is the Rodecaster Pro. All right, I'm overusing some of these sound effects there, but wait, hold on. Nope, wrong one. Nope. So actually, that's one of the features. So on the Rodecaster Pro, so let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. I haven't prepared a whole lot for this episode. I'm going to be completely honest, mostly because, again, big fight yesterday. Today, picked up the dog. I'm just going with the flow here. So this is they market it as a podcast production studio type deal for audio, and it's super easy to use. It's pretty full featured. So I'll just kind of go through some of the features here. So as you've already seen, these buttons here are for sound effects. There are some pre-loaded sound effects on there. Let me see. I can show you here. Is my screen up? There we go. So it comes with this little app that you can get, and you literally just drag and drop in some different sound effects into these here, and you can have some sound effects. So you've got the buzzer that I used to have on the Stream Deck. I've got the Heaven sound effect, and go back to there. So yeah, so you can assign. Oh, nope. That was really loud in my ears. I don't know why. But there you go. So that's kind of cool, and I plan on having some fun with those and incorporating those into the podcast. That wasn't even a joke, but I felt like doing that anyway. Sound effects over here. Up here, you've got 4 headphone. On the back, you've got 4 headphone inputs, and you can adjust the levels for all 4 of those headphones here on the back, which is great if you have up to 4 guests. Everyone can kind of have their own levels in their headphones, and it's super easy. Now, let's see if I can bring this in a little bit. That's probably good. Boom. Look at that. Framed up nicely. So you got the headphones here. This is going to adjust your outbound audio, which I have this going to my speakers. So like the audio interface that I had previously, if you remember I've got it here. Wait, it's around here somewhere. This was the Behringer, let's see, Euphoria UMC 202 HD. This was the audio interface I was using prior, and there's nothing wrong with this. This is a 2-channel, so if you wanted to do a multi-person podcast, you would be limited to 2 microphones for this one. But I mean, this one does the job just fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I still like it. But this just basically allows me to up my game here. Let's see. So there go my dogs barking. But you've got all these audio controls. You can plug in up to 4 microphones. You can pod up and down your desktop audio. You can even bring in, if you do, let's say, a voice call over your phone, you can plug your phone into the board or connect it via Bluetooth, so you can actually have a conversation with someone through this live in audio form, which is awesome for anyone who plans to do that. Up here, you've got a record button if you want to record the audio separately, and it's got a little micro USB port on the side. I'm not doing it today. I probably should, just to kind of have that separate high quality audio file. But I've been recording everything into OBS, and that's kind of the routine that I've been in. So maybe going forward, I'll start doing that a little bit more. But down here, you've got all of your microphone inputs, and you can monitor, you can mute, and you can pot them up and down. Everything tactile wise, haptics wise, is very nice and feels very high quality. The board itself is a little bit on the big side. That is one thing that's a bit of an annoyance. Wait, can I do this? Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, cool. But, oh, shoot, I forgot. I can only do, oh, never mind. Sorry, I was playing with some picture-in-picture stuff, but I forgot that I could only do, never mind. It's not important. So, yeah, it's a big board. It takes up a lot of space on my desk. That was the only thing. I know that before I would, like to be able to move my keyboard a little bit around when I was doing the podcast, so I can kind of turn a little bit more towards the camera and be able to rest my arm here a little bit. So I eventually may consider rearranging the desk a little bit so that, I don't know, maybe putting the board off of camera somewhere here. It actually would probably be easier if I could put some things here in this area, maybe somehow replace this stand. So I've got two monitors. One monitor is out of the frame. The other monitor, obviously right here, is in frame, but this monitor that's out of frame sits on like a little sort of organization stand. That's not really, it's designed for like papers and little knickknacks and things like that. But it would be great to at some point get some sort of, I don't know, something that will allow me to stack some equipment over here and be able to kind of tweak things and operate the boards from this side as opposed to having to turn this way. But as we do here, we're always looking to kind of change and improve things. So that's a project for the future. Outside of that, let's go back to this view here. If you press, so these are your different channels, obviously. If you were to press on the channel, you get introduced to the options that you have for them. And what I like is that they simplified the options down to where it's practically impossible to get it wrong. And all of the options that you get are very self-explanatory and easy to understand. And by the way, I should mention too that so before I was using my audio interface and then applying audio filters in OBS to kind of process the audio, I turned all those filters off, and all this audio that you're hearing now, everything is what's coming directly out of the Rodecaster Pro here. And I'll take you through some of the different settings that I have turned on and off, so you can get a handle of what different options it has. So one of the cool things you can do here is if you tap on the channel, you can select which microphone is associated with that channel. In my case, I'm using a condenser microphone, this Audio-Technica AT2035. So I have condenser selected on there. Maybe a little difficult to see. Bring this out. There you go. So yeah, condenser microphone there. I believe if you have a Rode microphone, it will automatically detect it. If not, you can just select it there. And if I'm not mistaken, when you select one of those Rode mics, it will automatically change the settings to reflect the best settings for that particular microphone. So that's cool. If you go back here, level, obviously it's going to allow you to change the levels. You can turn phantom power on and off from there, which is good because I believe this microphone requires phantom power. Voice. So here you can choose the tone and the strength of your voice. So if you click on tone, if you have a very deep voice, you might want to pick the deep option. If you have a medium voice, you're going to pick here. If you're going to have a high voice, you're going to pick here. And you may notice subtle changes in the way it sounds when you select the different options there. I haven't played with it enough to really figure out exactly what those tonal changes are. I consider myself to have a medium voice, so I just selected medium. And then strength. Do you have a big booming voice? Do you have a soft voice? I believe changing these changes the compression settings. So if you go soft, I think the compressor release is a little bit longer. So if you listen closely, when I stop talking, you can hear kind of some background noise just for a little bit. Or maybe it's the noise gate that it's applying to. But so, okay, right now I'm on the soft setting. If I stop talking, you'll hear a little bit of background noise for just a minute. Okay, and then if I go to strong, which I will do now, I think that compression or that noise gate turns off a little bit more quicker. 3, 2, 1. So I think it's just a little bit more, a quicker release when you go up in strength. I still, just like, the tone, I think I have kind of a medium voice strength, so I keep that there. So those are the voice settings. Then if you go back, go into advanced, and this is where you have some interesting options to work with. You've got a compressor that you can turn on, a high pass filter to kind of filter out some of those low frequencies. If you've got some computer noise or any other low rumblings nearby, that can help to filter some of those out. De-esser, so you can see if this makes a difference. So right now it's on. So I'll do a tongue twister. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, keep that in mind. So a de-esser is basically it removes some of that sibilance when you use your S's, right? So that's what it sounds like on. If I turn it off and I say it again, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Now, maybe subtle, but the S's may sound a little bit more in your face with the de-esser turned off. So typically I turn the de-esser on. It's a subtle change, but it may be a little bit more pleasant for the ears. Then over here, you've got noise gate. So this one's especially helpful if you are like me and have and just any sort of noise going on in the background. For me, I've got a computer tower here, which, as I'm recording into OBS, it's making a lot of noise because the fans are running and stuff like that. So if I turn this, so I'll give you some silence. Right now, this is with the noise gate on. And it's practically completely silent. If I turn it off, you may be able to hear some of this background noise. So, okay, it's now off. So I don't know if you can hear it, but I can definitely hear it in my headphones. So I always keep that noise gate on. One of the things I do notice is that it's not perfect, and nothing is going to be, but I mean, you can still pick up some of that background noise while I'm actually speaking, and the noise gate effect is not being applied. But it's better than nothing. And again, it seems like their goal was to make this just as easy as possible to use. So, yeah, these options are great. Then there's ducking. I believe that ducking, I know, is if you're speaking and there's music, it'll duck the music when you're talking. I don't have a use for it in this case because in most cases I'm not playing any music or anything like that except for in the intro, so I leave ducking turned off. Then down here you have these effects. Big bottom. This is just going to add a little bit more low end to my voice, give it a little bit more of a broadcasty sound. But I'm kind of going for a more natural sound, so I actually turn that one off. And then the Aural Exciter, I think it's kind of difficult to figure out. I guess this just sort of makes your voice sound a little more brilliant and a little more, I don't know, full, I guess. I think it's a little too much of an effect for me personally, so I leave it off. And this processing down here, this is required to be on. So this is with no effects on currently at all. So this is me talking directly through the Rode with no processing effects. And then when you turn it back on, you can kind of hear how those effects come into play. Yeah, there's that, and that's it for those effects. You got settings here. You have settings for the different channels, so you could actually get into the individual channel settings from there if you want to. You've got settings for Bluetooth, smartphone, USB. Again, super straightforward and simple. Let's see, hardware. Haven't played too much with these. Looks like this is where you can go into format your um, SD card. Some other things in there that I haven't played a whole lot with, to be quite honest. Headphones, limit maximum volume, boost headphone volume. This will increase the volume for all headphones. Turn down your headphone volume before proceeding. No, I'm good. I'll play with that later. Limit maximum volume. I don't know if this is outbound, but it definitely affects what I'm monitoring in my headphones, and I don't like it. Yes, I want to disable that. Okay. And that's the Rodecaster Pro. So right now, kind of in that time period where I'm still getting it all figured out. This is obviously a little bit more complex than that audio interface I was using, which means that there's more to keep an eye on when I'm doing these live streams. So I actually had to do some testing before I came in today to figure out, okay, wait a minute, okay, green means monitoring, red is muting, but then I would monitor and mute, but the slider would be turned up and I would still hear and it would still record. So there were just some things that I had to iron out, but overall I'm very impressed with it. The design, the quality, not just of the sound, but of the unit itself feels like very high quality. And I think there are still some improvements to be made on the outbound audio, or the audio that's that I'm recording. I may do a combination of applying some filters in OBS along with using this board here just to kind of really fine tune it. But I can't complain. And this thing runs about $600 US, or no, yeah, $599 US. Get it on Amazon or B&H. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. And I'm very glad that I got it, and I'm looking forward to incorporating it more into these podcasts. Anyway, okay, so that's about it for me today. How long we've been going today? Let's see, recording 27 minutes. That's a good clip. I'm not drinking bubbly today because it makes me burp. By the way, for all you sleuths out there, yes, I know I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last week. Again, it's been a long week. It's been a long weekend. And I have a washing machine, so I washed it. And so I can do that. Once again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I do encourage you to click that subscribe button and follow me on social media at Ryan Hafey on Instagram and Twitter. I'm always on there, always answering DMs, always answering comments and things like that. So let's chat. Come hang out with me on social media. And for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. Let's hang out next week on the Hafey Digital Podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And